All right, y'all. It's your boy Professor X here. Before I get started, I want to send a shout out to my homeboy in the asylum, Omega Red, for hipping me to this video. It's the Blueprint, Matt Morgan, who currently does wrestling reviews on a channel called Wrestling Inc., which I have been subbed to, but maybe not for much longer after I saw this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna offer him a retort, of course, because that's my specialty. Is here in the IWC, YWC is when wrestlers come at us, I clap back at them. Explaining or not explaining, but telling them why we say what we say and how we say it, and basically we can say what the fuck we want to say and how we want to say it. So, cause today when we watch the product and it stinks or it's bad, and that's basically all the time, we're gonna call you on it. So here we go.
Coming into this, I was smartened up that people would always, throw rocks at you, and they have no business throwing rocks, especially when it's these little dorky keyboard punching, non-vagina getting losers that have not had vagina since vagina had them.
All right off the bat, he comes at us, dorky, geeky, non-vagina getting since vagina had us, keyboard punching. One thing there, Blueprint, you don't know a goddamn thing about any of us. See, we're fans who, through the gift of technology, internet, computer, whatever, we've developed our own voice, which we didn't have before. See, all we could do is come to the shows and watch, and whether we liked it or not, we went home. So, but that's changed. Now, like sports announcers, sports analysts, reporters, we can offer our own version of analysis. That's the purpose of us getting on the internet. That's the purpose of our YouTube channels. That's the purpose of the YWC, IWC. We're not all little kids eating Doritos or typing typical squash match period. No, that's not what it is.
And going with that, all they do is sit there. I can see it right now, what they look like. They've got their glasses on. They're probably this thick. They're probably this tall. They're probably this fat. They probably have Doritos in one bag eating, and the other hand on the keyboard going, Matt Morgan, typical, squash, big man, match, period.
No, actually, Matt, if you think about it, or if you knew anything about real people outside your little fake scripted bullshit universe, people with glasses are usually smart. You might want to think about that. I wear glasses. I'm educated. I have a job. That's right. I work an 8 to 5er. So, I'm 6'1". I'm not fat. I'm tall. I'm thin. And I'm a grown ass man. Unlike you. And you clearly have no idea of what wrestling fans, I'm not gonna call them internet fans, because all wrestling fans aren't on the net, even though all of us have access to it. We are expressing, like I said, our thoughts and opinions. That's our purpose. That's our preference. That's our choice, our freedom of choice to do that.
And I'm like, who the fuck are you to say who's got a typical squash match and who doesn't? You don't know fuck all to begin with to even start this conversation about wrestling, let alone discuss mine or even somebody like Hunter's or somebody like Rikishi's or somebody that's actually been there and done a few things in this business, you got no business commenting on it unless you've been doing it for a certain amount of time. Dave Meltzer's somebody who's been doing it for a certain amount of time, whose opinion that I'll always tell people, okay, he knows what he's talking about. There's a few guys that do. Very few. Problem is the overexposure of the internet. So now any Joe Blow could get their own radio show and do whatever and talk about whatever in the hell they want and kill. Just because they don't like somebody, they can kill them off immediately on the internet. And there's 50,000 readers that read that.
All right. First of all, we're not Joe and Blow or Joe and Go or whatever the fuck you said. Here's the thing. Why do we need to be in the business and wrestle to have a conversation of what we like in it and what we don't like, or who we like and who we don't like, or basically what match we like and what we don't like, or what part of the creative direction we like and don't like? So, I've been watching wrestling since I was little, as have a lot of people. And growing up watching it, and things and people that have told stories of things that we're not supposed to hear, we've learned a lot. And the thing is, you sound like the typical wrestling prick who basically is probably unfriendly to fans, even the ones who like you, because a lot of wrestlers are like that. They come across fans when they come to town or out on the street somewhere, a little kid just wants a handshake or an autograph, and you totally blow them off, or you have an attitude. So, actually, I disagree with you. A lot of us internet fans know a lot more than you think, and we know a lot more than what you want to acknowledge. Okay, first of all, you mentioned Hunter and Rikishi. Okay, let's look at Triple Bitch for a second. Here's a dude that came up in the business, was a nobody at first. Of course, ass kissed his way in WWE. He started, bumping uglies with the boss's daughter. Look at him now. Now, can you honestly tell me that he wouldn't be where he is today had he not married Vince's daughter? So what does that tell you? And it wasn't because of his wrestling talent of their blueprint. It was because, he knew how to make moves, if you know what I mean. See, and Rikishi, well, look at his family lineage. And of course, he's The Rock's cousin. So there you go there. Too cool, never got as popular as The Rock, but he had his time and his day. So, before you go dogging us, or saying what you're saying, take a good look at yourself first about what you're saying. And like I said, all of us aren't Dorito eating fat keyboard punchers. We do a lot of research. We got the facts. And as far as Dave Meltzer goes, I don't remember Dave Meltzer being a wrestler. Being a reporter doesn't mean, you got to get out there in the street and interview people, or you go to college, or all you got to do is watch the product. You watch the product. You talk to the fans and what they think. And, another question for you. How did Dave Meltzer become a wrestling reporter? He says he always has sources. How did he get these sources? What connections does he have? See, that's something else you don't mention in the business. There are certain circles you got to run in to get connections or to get sources. See, us internet fans, we may not have that, but we don't need that. All we need is we see the product on TV, we offer our thoughts and our opinions on it. That's all we need. And the sources that come out are now online, not just from dirt sheets, but mostly cold hard facts of what people are witnesses or are witnessing. They witness certain things and hear conversations. They report that to the media, the wrestling media. We pick up, and when we pick up on it, yeah, we're going to tell it, and we're going to offer our thoughts on it.
So it causes, in my opinion, other wrestlers, which I don't like doing, is go out and have your own website, stick up for yourself, do interviews on your own website, so people get to know you better. Because when I was in WWE, people didn't get to know me that well. They knew me as some powerbomb, ass-kicking, shit-kicking, giant, stoic motherfucker that stuttered his second time round. That ain't me. People doesn't. I bet you didn't know this. I graduated 5th of my class with a communications degree in public speaking. Probably didn't know that. Going with this promo, you're gonna know that.
All right, he graduated top 5th in his class with a degree in communications. So if you got these credentials, a communications degree in public speaking, why the fuck did you become a fake scripted fighter? You could have done something much better with your life. And of course, you say on camera that you got a degree. Let's see it. Just because you say you have it doesn't mean that it's true. A long time ago, when Robin Givens married Mike Tyson, I remember watching that Mike Tyson movie on HBO when she was saying how she graduated college with these college credentials, and you saw Don King saying, "What is this shit?" I know for a fact that she didn't graduate high school. So, you know, like I said, I can't confirm or deny. You know, you can say anything you want on camera for your beloved fans to believe you. That doesn't mean it's always true. Because to me, looking at you and listening to the way you talk about fuck all and saying this, you don't sound like a guy who graduated 5th in his class with a communications degree in public speaking. Because if you knew how to publicly speak, you know, I don't think you'd be a wrestler. You know, you could have done something much better.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? They're not going to put that on the computer. All they're going to care about is what my match looked like, and they don't even have the intelligence or the background to be able to judge on what a typical squash big man match is or a typical cruiserweight match. They have no business. It gets me hot thinking about it right now, if you can't tell. It irks me because these people don't have an athletic bone in their body. I have more athleticism in my cock than they do their entire body.
All right there. You got a degree in communications degree in public speaking, and you actually had the audacity to say that? Do you know how fucking ignorant you sound when you said that? Now, if you really had a communications degree in public speaking, you wouldn't have said some repugnant bullshit out your mouth like that, which just shows us, you know, these internet fans, which shows us what a big, dumb, ignorant, sounding SOB you really are. And that's what you come off like. And like I said, I was a fan of Wrestling Inc. But now that we found this, I've unsubscribed. Oh, and a Blueprint. I too have a YouTube channel, and I and others have plenty of intelligence. We can go on the internet. I can go on online on the internet and look up your whole background, and I'll report it back to you because I'm pretty sure Matt Morgan isn't your real name. It's probably a stage name, just like you're graduating 5th at the top of your class with a communications degree in public speaking is probably a staged a degree. I mean, like I said, again, I can't confirm or deny. I can't prove that. But like I said, some of the bullshit that you say here out your mouth totally contradicts, it totally contradicts the person who graduated 5th in their class with a communications degree in public speaking. You know, anybody who has that kind of credential wouldn't say the ignorant shit that just came out your mouth. That just came out of your mouth. Trust me. Public speaking? Are you serious?
And that's a shoot. That's the honest to God truth. I'll put my life on that. I'm a dual sport athlete. You know, all through high school, all through college. I know I am an athlete. So for someone else to sit there, when I played ball in school, people might throw pot shots, but these were reporters that have pedigree who have earned their right to do that. They write for USA Today. They write for Sports Illustrated. I have no beef with that. Rick O'Reilly from Sports Illustrated can say whatever the fuck he wants because he's done it before. But to have, I don't know these guys' names. I wish I could bury their names for you, but I can't. I don't even know their names. I don't read it because I think it's all shit. You know, but like, you know, my wife will tell me from here and there, or my friends will tell me, this guy said this guy said this. That's why I don't bother reading it. That's why they're called the fucking dirt sheets, and that's why they're dirty, disgusting, just disgusting, gross, bottom-feeding assholes.
Look who's talking. Okay, here's the thing. People who work for USA Today or Sports Illustrated, those are political media. When you work for them, you write what they tell you to write. You write what they tell you to write, and you write how they tell you to write. You can't say what you want to say or write what you want to write for USA Today. It's the USA. You can't say what you want to say and write what you want to write when it's Sports Illustrated. They have to maintain a certain, a certain political media standard. That's what the blueprint, or should I say, the bullshit print, isn't telling you. That's a company. See, we don't work for big corporate companies. Matt Morgan, the blueprint who could make it in WWE, came to TNA for a while and then retired. I wonder why. And now he's on YouTube on Wrestling Inc. Okay, so what does that tell you? So hey, Matt, you know, how much did you draw when you were a wrestler? Did you draw any money? And you say you were a dual athlete in high school, all through school and through college. If that's the case, how come you couldn't make it in a real sport, in a real sports league? How come you never tried to make it to the NFL or the NBA if you could play dual sports, or even baseball? You know, tell us that. See, you're blowing all this hot air at us about what we say on the internet because we watch the product and we say what we want. You know, we say what we like and we say what we don't like. We talk about the booking. We talk about bad creative direction. We talk about the matches themselves. And we know every match isn't a typical cruiserweight match or typical squash match. But when we see one, yeah, we're going to say it. Especially when we see, like, let's say Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston, and he pins him in less than 5 seconds. Yeah, that looks like a typical squash match to me. That basically, that's not even a typical squash match. That's a typical bullshit match. Just like everything out of your mouth was typical bullshit. And again, you graduated 5th in your class with a communications degree in public speaking. Buddy, everything you just said in this video doesn't sound like public speaking to me, because you couldn't say to the public in a public speaking event, you couldn't say you've got more athleticism in your private parts than we do in our whole body. That's not good public speaking. That's horseshit. You got horseshit coming out of your mouth, and more than likely you got shit for brains. But, you know, who am I? I'm just a internet keyboard puncher who wears glasses. But I have been to college. You know, I didn't graduate college, but I have college credits. But also, I have a big a book collection. I read a lot of books. Do you read a lot of books, Matt Morgan? Why don't you let me know? Because I'm going to send this video to your Twitter. And of course, if you block me, then my job's complete. Because once again, I struck a nerve for the IWC. Y'all leave your thoughts and comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.